What's really interesting is I'm the head of health and wellbeing for Royal Navy now, but I've been a Royal Navy wife for the other half was in for 18 years. He literally just left a few weeks ago. So I have a bit of experience on each side of the fence, actually, from working within the Royal Navy for the benefit of serving people and their families and that personal lived experience. My other half won't be upset if I share that he's had both physical well-being and mental well-being struggles for some time, and it was really difficult to talk about, and some of it they're not allowed to talk about. As the head of health and well-being, I get to see it from the other side, where I want to go out and see what everyone else's lived experience is and really work collaboratively to ensure that we as a Navy are fulfilling our duties to be able to provide support when and where our people and their families need it, and where we may not have the right support for them, going to for example, Solent Mind, who have the Anchoring Minds program, to be able to get people to the right support in the right place.
Well, we are based in Hampshire and have wellbeing centres in both Gosport and Portsmouth, and of course those areas have got as a huge population of the Royal Navy and Royal Marines families and serving personnel. They're a really important part of our local community, and therefore serving the needs of that community faces is a really important part of our work.
The current operational tempo of the Navy is really, really high at the moment. There are lots and lots of world events that have really ramped up in recent years. We've got more responsibilities with our international partners. We've got wars going on all over, and we have to protect our allies and ourselves. Therefore, our serving people are having an experience where they are being expected to be able to go out and deploy more and more frequently, and sometimes stay out longer than they might have expected. And we should all manage our expectations, and that you probably will continue at this pace for a while.
We know that deployments now are for a much longer period of time, but also going off into much more complex operations around the world, and the impact that can have on both the serving personnel and their family can be really challenging.
We're sort of one in, all in for this, aren't we? We don't sometimes have a choice, but we have to make sure that we are supporting each other and seeking support where we're not able to cope.
Well, we all recognise that if you don't have that opportunity to talk about how you're feeling, that your feelings can get worse and you can start to spiral in a negative way and feel much more anxious, much more hesitant to talk about things. So for us, it's really important that we are able to connect with people as soon as we can and provide a very human response to talking through people's story and context.
The feedback that I get is they really, really sometimes feel isolated. They feel alone. They feel like they can't speak to their friends and their family when they want to.
Having someone from our staff team there to talk through those emotions, to accept that they're absolutely normal, that is how everyone and anyone in that situation would feel.
We recognise that it's difficult. We're putting our people in difficult positions. It's the nature of the job. And when people say families knew what they were getting into, nobody knows what they're getting into. It's something that you get into because you love someone. And so it's our responsibility to work in partnership with them, to listen, to understand, provide support when and where we can, but also work with organisations like Solent Mind and their Anchoring Minds program to make sure that there's support that makes sense at the right time and the right place for our serving people and their families.
Many of our staff have got lived experience of mental health needs. They've been there too, they know what it's like. But also many of our staff in the Anchoring Minds programme have also been deployed overseas or have been a partner to someone who's been deployed. So understand what it feels like to be absent from your partner for a long period of time, to be dealing with a stress of the unknown, not knowing quite what that deployment might look like, when you might return, the impact it might have upon family life. And our staff can work alongside an individual to enable them to safely tell their story and help them get the support they need.
When I first married into the military, I had absolutely no clue whatsoever what that meant and what that entailed.
Sometimes we don't know what they did when we marry them or get with them, but it's not the job we've married, it's the person.
Emotionally, it was, at the time, very draining. I do remember always feeling tired.
My emotions change quite differently on different days. So one day I might be absolutely fine, yep, he's going away, I know what's going to happen, he's going, and then he'll be back. And then another time it might be that we're out shopping and he'll start getting extra shower gels and extra toothpaste, and then it hits me and I think, oh yeah, he's really going.
Didn't even consider your own emotional well-being, you just sort of made sure the children were okay? Yeah, there were times, again, where you were extremely lonely, the children were all in bed or whatever, and you just sat there thinking, well, this is great.
You've lost them, but you haven't lost them. It's quite difficult to explain.
It felt like a bereavement, so you went through the process of grief for the loss, even though you knew he'd not passed away. He just wasn't going to be there for a long time.
Oh, I wish my husband would go away for a week. I wish my husband would go away for 3 months at a time. That's quite hard to hear, although lots of us will laugh it off.
We spent nearly 10 years in Germany, so you didn't have family nearby. Your friends were your neighbours.
We lived in a married quarter and we had a really good patch there. Met some of my best friends ever there, and I wouldn't have managed, I'm going to cry, I wouldn't have managed without them.
The during, I suppose, yeah, again, you were all things to all people, so you were mum and dad, which I found particularly hard, because you had to be good cop one day and bad cop the next.
If you just sit by yourself, you're just going to sit and worry, or you're going to make up things in your own head of what might be happening, and then to try and look after children when you're thinking about that in the back of your head is quite challenging.
Before they would come back, your emotions are all over the place again, because everything's because you've established that routine, the children are in routine, so you know that routine is now going to be sort of, the rug is going to be shook.
Will the children still remember him when he gets back? Will we still like each other when he gets back? Will that spark still be there?
He's going to come back and try to assert himself with his rules and his ways, and we haven't been doing it like that.
When my husband is away, I don't always want to say to him if I'm struggling about things. I'll try and pretend that everything's okay so that he doesn't worry when he's on board or away. So it's good to know that I've got support now, that I can reach out to Anchoring Minds, for instance, but it's nice that he can too. So Anchoring Minds is also available for him while he's away, so that if he wants to talk about something, then he feels like he can't talk to me about it because he doesn't want to upset me, then that's available for him too.
I think my advice to others would be to approach the situation with an open mind, try not to preempt or to have that crystal ball. You don't know how you're going to be feeling.
You've got to have a network of people around you. You've got to find your people. Friends become your new sort of family, which sometimes your family can find quite hard to hear. But you've got to make your network family down here or in your own area where you are to manage, because you do sometimes have to ask for help.
So we have a whole range of different tools which are available to be used before, during and after. And the beauty of these tools is they're not exclusive to those set times of the deployment cycle. So one of the first ones we talk about is the 5 ways to well-being. When we focus upon the 5 ways to well-being, connection, being active, taking notice, giving and learning, it helps us to enrich our cycle so that we're able to support others in the way that we would like to. So another tool we use is called the circle of control. Sometimes life feels overwhelming for us and we feel that we have too much to do. The circle of control can help to give us perspective of that. So we write a list and place them into these 3 different circles. The circle of control, that's the circle that we have direct control over. The circle of influence, which is where we have a partial control over it. And the final one is the circle of concern, also known as stuff, which we have very little control or influence over. So the key objective of this tool is for us to gain perspective and control by moving things closer to the centre so that we can have influence and we can have control over what is happening in our lives. So for service families who've recently had a partner deployed, this tool can be particularly helpful. When life feels like it's full of variables, this can help to gain some control. So a simple tool that is often used in mindfulness is known as square breathing. And this is used to gain some immediate control when you can feel your emotions building up. Quite simply, imagine a square and imagine going around the square 4 seconds on each side. You breathe in for 4 seconds. You're then going along another side, breathing out for 4 seconds. As you come down the other side, breathing in for 4 seconds. And then finally, exhaling 4 seconds again. You can repeat going around this square for as long as you want to until you feel that you've been able to regain that control. We've developed a toolkit online where all of the exercises we've gone through can be found. We'll also be adding additional resources to this. So these resources are available to support you, and we're here to support you whenever you need it too.
Anchoring Minds has been going for a couple of years, but we're lucky enough to be able to expand it now. We work with serving personnel and their families, offering support, advice, guidance around mental health and well-being. For service users who ring into us and contact us, we offer quite a bespoke service, so we will be able to offer them an assessment, perhaps one-to-one work, be it face-to-face if they live in Hampshire, or via Zoom or telephone if they live in other parts of the country, and with a view to sort of really helping them manage their mental well-being better. The support they can expect will be obviously someone to listen to start with, and we will be able to signpost them to services that will be able to help them if it's not something we ourselves can deal with. We've also got a web page, and we've got access to some online videos which will teach skills to sort of help manage your well-being. You can access Anchoring Minds from wherever you are on our dedicated phone line. The number to call is 0300 303 1725.
Being resilient and coping with your serving person being away is really difficult on a family. Don't struggle in silence. Keep talking. Go see someone from Anchoring Minds and get the support that you need.
I tried to think I could do it by myself. I didn't need to ask anyone for help. I didn't need to reach out to friends. I didn't need to let people know that I was struggling. That was probably the worst thing I did, because it was quite a sad time for me.
I think if you're feeling isolated, please do not feel that you're on your own. We are here. Please reach out to us.
Solent Mind is there for you. Reach out. We've always got someone who can talk to you, hear your story, and make certain together we can work through a plan that works for you. You're not alone.